Hello everyone, my name is Ivo and welcome to Cooking with the Koyas. Today we are going to use one of those ancient grains and make a healthier loaf of bread. We're going to use 100% spelt flour and make an amazing artisan loaf of bread that is so easy to make, and let's get started right now. So first thing we have to do is start off with 400 grams of spelt flour. So we got our weigh scale going here. Let's go with 400 grams. And you could even see, I don't know if you could tell, but the color, it's even a darker color, this flour. Okay, let's go 400 grams. And I'll put all the imperial measurements in the description below as well as the metric. Come on, 400 grams. And 390-ish, 400, right on. Okay, so we have our 400 grams of 100% spelt flour. To that, we're going to add 8 grams of salt, just regular fine table salt. And for yeast, all we're going to use is 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's it, 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast. We're going to mix that in and get that all going. So mix it all together. We no longer need the weigh scale because I've weighed everything else out. So for water, what I have here are 245 grams of water. In goes our water. Secret ingredient number 2, apple cider vinegar. So I'm using an organic one here. Any apple cider vinegar will do. I have 20 grams of apple cider vinegar. In that goes. Now, to mix this, you're going to want to do it relatively quickly. Get it mixed together. You do not want to overmix this flour. One of the things with spelt flour, the gluten structure is very weak. So that means we do not want to overwork. So as soon as we have our dough basically put together, we're going to stop forming this. So of course I'm going to get in there with my hands. So let's get in here and form a dough. This should take no more than a minute, but you want to pick up all that flour. And for those of you who are counting, this is a 66% hydration dough. Okay, let me get this together. In fact, I'm going to put it on the counter so you could see how I put this together. It's spelt takes water, absorbs it like a sponge. So you're just going to want to use the pincer method, squeeze, and pick up all that flour. Okay, just going to squeeze it all together, picking up all that flour. All right, work it. Dough is picked up. Now we do not want to overwork it. So I just want to see all the flour get absorbed. And once it's all absorbed, I'm going to stop. And again, that's very important because it's got a very, very weak gluten structure. So we don't want to overhandle it. But the vinegar, on the other hand, helps condition the dough and actually strengthens the gluten. And it also gives you kind of a fake sourdough kind of taste to it. The apple cider vinegar, it's the key. So as you can see, everything is basically incorporated. I'm not going to work this dough anymore. That's enough. Step 1, done. How easy was that? Cover it. It now has to double. So we're going to let it sit at room temperature. Typically takes about 12 hours. You keep an eye on it. I will too. We're going to come back in 12 hours. Hopefully it's doubled by then, and we'll show you, and we'll get ready for baking because we'll be close to baking at that stage. This recipe is that easy, so stay tuned. So here we are some 12 hours later. our dough's been resting very nicely, and you can see it reacts a little bit differently than your typical dough does. So we're going to get ready for the proofing stage, which is also very, very easy. Now, one thing I would like to mention is that I could have yesterday used a little bit of diastatic malt powder. I could have added diastatic malt powder, 1 teaspoon, like I normally do, but it is optional. But the reason why I like to use it is because it's a superfood for yeast. But having said that, I did not use diastatic malt powder yesterday because I always use it, and sometimes people don't have it, and then they wonder if they can make bread without it. So I'm making it without it this time. But I will put a note in the description regarding the diastatic malt powder. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just layering some rice flour onto my proofing basket. Okay, and this rice flour is gluten-free. Mind you, our bread is not gluten-free, but it is an ancient grain. And if I didn't mention it yesterday, let me just remove it here. You can take a look at it there. Okay, spelt flour is very high in protein and fiber. It's also rich in vitamins and minerals, and it's easier to digest. So those are some of the benefits of using the spelt flour, which, as you can see, is clearly different than a regular flour. And again, the gluten structure is very delicate. So I'm just going to do a very delicate 4-fold. Lift one end, fold it over, and fold it over. Okay, and now I will just shape it into a round, just with the palms of my hands, work it around in a circle. Again, this is a very, very delicate gluten structure, so don't expect it to handle like you would with any of your other typical bread doughs. Okay, so our proofing basket is lined. This way it doesn't stick. It'll remove very easily. I see I have some more rice flour here. I will put a little bit on the top. There we go. And now it needs to rest and proof for 2 hours. So we're going to let it rest for 2 hours. But at the 1.5 hour mark, we're going to fire up our oven and preheat a Dutch oven. So let's let it rest, and we'll come back in 1.5 hours and get our oven preheated, and then we're going to bake at hour number 2. So it's been 1.5 hours. Here I have an empty Dutch oven with lid, and we're going to preheat our oven to 475 degrees. Crank that up to 475, that's Fahrenheit. And in goes our Dutch oven, completely bone dry empty, and it's going to preheat for 30 minutes. So our 1/2 hour preheat is now done. Out comes the Dutch oven, which is extremely hot. Okay, let's see how our bread is doing. Oh, nice little loaf of bread right there. Okay, lid off. Our bread, very gently, drop it in. Came out of there very nice. That rice flour did its job. I'm just going to score the top. Let's score it with a star shape. There we go. Lid goes back on. We're going back in the oven at 475 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes with the lid on. Okay, let's get it in. In we go. We'll see you in 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. All we have to do now is take the lid off. Take the lid off, and we're going to let our bread finish cooking. Now, here's the thing. It depends on your oven. It could be anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. Typically, 15 is normal, so we're going to go 15 minutes and let this beautiful loaf of spelt bread finish cooking. Our timer is up. Oven goes off. It's been 15 minutes. And this, folks, is looking really, really nice. Hey, isn't that a nice looking small loaf of 100% spelt flour bread? And the bottom is cooked nicely too. So the 15 minutes in the oven was perfect for this loaf. So now, very, very important, especially with bread made with 100% spelt flour. Patience, patience, patience. We need to let this bread sit and cool completely before we cut into it. But don't worry, we're going to cut into it and we're going to do the taste test. But for now, I'm going to let it sit and relax. So I'm going to go about my day. I'll let it cool completely and we'll come right back at you and cut. I'll cut it right up the middle and we'll take a look at this beautiful loaf of bread and do our taste test. Our bread has cooled down very nicely. Maybe slightly warm-ish, not quite. It's been about almost 3 hours, so it's good and cooled down. Let's slice it right up the middle. Already I can tell the crust is very nice. Okay. Oh, well, that looks pretty good. That is decent. That is decent. It's not as dense as I thought it would be. We got some nice air pockets there. So it's relatively, that came out really, really nice. And if you look at the crust is beautiful too. So they say good things come in small packages. You know what? I'm going to grab a quick photo. So now for the taste test. You know the part I like the best. I like the end pieces. So I'm going to start with a piece right off the end here. Okay, and that's typically how I do my slices like that. I'll cut the bread in half and then I'll cut them this way. And that's a beautiful, beautiful slice of bread right there. This is the piece that I like. I'm always looking for the crusty ends. So I'm not going to put anything on it. No butter, no oil, just going to taste it the way it is. The crust is very nice. The flavor is somewhat nutty. It's got a nutty kind of taste. Let me just try the crumb, just the soft crumb. It's light, tender. Has a nice soft texture to it. I don't want to say sweet. I'm going to say more nutty. It's got more of a nutty kind of taste. Definitely different than your typical artisan breads, but in a nice way. This, folks, is a really nice loaf of bread. The crust, nice crunch to it. Good flavor. I like it. You make some slices like that, a little bit of olive oil on there, some provolone cheese, some capicola, a little prosciutto. You make yourself a nice sandwich, or just to have with your bacon and eggs. This bread can go a long way. It is high in protein, high in fiber. It's nutritious. It's delicious. It's made with 100% spelt flour, which is an ancient grain. Some people would consider this a healthier choice, easy to digest bread, full of flavor, easy to make. You saw how simple that was? So easy to make. I hope you give this a try. If you're looking for an alternative to the typical artisan bread, this is one other choice for you. I want to thank you for spending time in the kitchen. It's a great place to be. And until next time, folks, as always, bon appetito and salute. I need my wine glass. Very, very nice bread.